There's a land between two rivers where the Severn meets the sea, and the silver Wye runs laughing on her journey to be free of the cliffs that hold her close from Coppet Hill to Beachley Quay. That's the land where I belong, where I long to be. There's a land between two peoples where the morning air's like wine, and the hands that reach in friendship bear the blue scars of the mine, where the tongues sound rough to strangers' ears, but the words they speak are kind. That's the land where I belong, the place for me and mine. There's a land between two nations where the Severn meets the Wye, and 100,000 treetops reach their branches to the sky. You can lie and watch the salmon swim by cliffs where falcons fly. That's the land where I was born, where I wish to die. There's a land between two rivers where the Severn meets the sea, and the silver Wye runs laughing on her journey to be free of the cliffs that hold her close from Coppet Hill to Beachley Quay. That's the land where I belong, where I long to be.
So I'm going to start off with a bit of poetry I wrote for this campaign when I first started. It's been a while since I said this in public, so it's going to be cracking. We won't let our timbers be made into fences to fence off the woods from the ones who respect it. We won't be made to walk upon paths conveniently gravelled. We're humans, not cars. We won't be stopped from smelling the flowers or lying in patches of bluebells for hours. These woods are our forest, this forest is our home, and we won't stop fighting till you leave it alone. Do the words "not for sale" mean nothing to you? Do we have to mark every tree to get our view through? Can you sleep at night knowing that kids have stopped playing in the woods, they've stopped learning about the environments plants growing in their graves? Yeah? Foresters are turning. This forest is our property, it is our right, it is our prophecy to keep the wood's integrity with vigour and with honesty. So come on, Dean community, stand and fight with unity. These woods belong to you and me, these woods belong to me.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, from the sacred forests to the holy islands. This land was made for you and me. As I walked out through the homeless counties, the traffic raging all around me, I closed my eyes and dreamed how it could be. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. This land I saw a sign there when I was walking, and on the sign it said no trespassing, but on the other side it didn't say nothing. This sign was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highland, from the sacred forest to the holy islands. This land was made for you and me.
As the clouds went rolling and the church bells ringing, I heard the songs that the birds were singing. As night came falling, they went on calling. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, from the sacred forest to the holy islands.
This land was made for you and me. From the teeming city, I made my escape to find my place in the mystic landscape. I'm not the first here, nor am I the last here. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, from the sacred forest to the holy islands. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, from the sacred forest to the holy islands. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, from the sacred forest to the holy islands. This land was made for you and me.
Ah. So now, the signs everywhere went up that the forest had become crown land. And you, everywhere you looked, you could see the signs.
The law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common.
But leaves the greater villain loose who steals the common from the goose.
Oh, won't you find me a home? 'Cause I am tired of doing it on my own. How long till you've had enough of this? I ain't gonna give up anything. I can see you're trying to sell off the land where I live. Let me remind you, you've got a nice place to go when you were cold. Let me remind you, you've got a place to y'all feel safe when you grow old. Let me remind you, got a place you're not ashamed to call your own. So tell them to leave the forest of Dean alone. Gotta break the silence. We're gonna claim the trees today. There's a time for violence, but it's only if they don't back away. Do you know that dynamite can move from minds to minds? Let me remind you, you've got a nice place to go when you were cold. Let me remind you, you've got a place where y'all feel safe when you grow old. Let me remind you, got a place you're not ashamed to call your own. So tell them to leave the forest of Dean alone. Let me remind you, you've got a nice place to go when you were cold. Let me remind you, you've got a place where y'all feel tell them to leave the forest of Dean alone. Let me remind you, you got a place to go when you were cold. Let me remind you,
concerned forestry. The government is exploring a new approach to ownership and the management of woodlands and forests, with a reduced role for the state and a bigger role for individuals, businesses, civil society organisations and local authorities. I wish to assure the House that this government will not compromise the protection of our most valuable and biodiverse forests, including our historic woodlands. Measures will remain to preserve and enhance the vital public benefits which our forests provide. The government will consult widely on its future plans and invite views from a wide variety of stakeholders.
Clause 17.2 enables the Secretary of State by order to amend the Forestry Act 1967 to modify the purposes or objective or conditions by which the Forestry Commission disposes of land, manages and uses it, or lets or grants rights or interests over it. The Secretary of State may exercise such a function for any purpose and unconditionally. Chilling words, my lords. It would appear that this allows the Secretary of State to order the disposal of any Forestry Commission land in England or its use for some other purpose. It is hard to conceive why ministers want such draconian powers, unless it is the government's intention to dispose of much or all of the Forestry Commission's land. I have no idea why the government would wish to do that, and perhaps the noble Lord the Minister could tell us.
We're here to celebrate our beautiful and unique ancient forest, and we're here to defend our ancient privileges and customs. We're here to protest and to voice our concerns about government plans to sell off the public forest estate in England. Foresters have got a proud history of protest, struggle and victories, and today we're continuing, brothers and sisters, in that tradition. We cannot and we must not allow our forest to be sold. We shouldn't even have to consider the question, do you wish to buy your forest? Because it already belongs to us.
This forest's not for sale. If it goes, it's gone forever. We'll never get it back, no matter how hard we may try. If we lose this battle now, then the forest won't recover, and future generations will ask the reason why. Our fathers' laboured for the things we take for granted, in the fields and in the darkness of the mines below the fern, and now we hold in trust those rights which grew from seeds they planted, so the children of the future might enjoy them in their turn. Through 1,000 years and more, these traditions have been growing. The forest is our heritage, our treasure and our joy. But through these ancient woodlands now a chilly wind is blowing. The Dean is not for private profit, this is not a rich man's toy. The forest is not for sale and our views must be respected. The forest is for everyone, the nation must be told. We'll fight to keep our heritage and ancient rights protected, and Parliament must learn the forest won't be bought and sold. Hold on to what we've got, if it's sold it's lost forever. Hold on to what we've got, if it goes it's gone for good. Hold on to what we've got, or the forest won't recover. If you care about tomorrow, just hold on to what we've got.
was a boy, played among the trees. Never thought I'd see those fences laid. When I was a boy, learned about the birch, the birds and how they perched in the autumn leaves. Never thought I'd see now government bodies selling off the land just to make some money. Now it's our turn to fight, now to stand up for our rights, to walk among the trees, keep our forests free. Yeah, keep our forests free. Keep our forests free. Yeah, keep our forests free. It's not for sale, it's not for sale, it's not for sale. No, we won't stand by. We will raise forests to hell. It's not for sale, it's not for sale, it's not for sale. No, we won't stand by. We will raise forests to hell. When I was alive, picking chestnuts with my dad, off the beaten track, no you can't beat that. But if we let them sell the forest for $1, we'll be breaking the law if we stray off the track. And I ain't having that, well I don't know about you, but I won't stop fighting until we're through. They can't sell our woods from right under our feet, 'cause we're harder than that. We'll keep our forests free. Yeah, we'll keep our forests free. We'll keep our forests free. Yeah, we'll keep our forests free. Yeah. It's not for sale, it's not for sale, it's not for sale. No, we won't stand by. We will raise forests to hell. It's not for sale, it's not for sale, not for sale. No, we won't stand by. We will raise forests to hell. It's not for sale, not for sale, not for sale. No, we won't stand by. We will raise forests to hell. When I was a boy, I learned about the birch and the birds and how they perched in the autumn leaves. I never thought I'd see now government bodies selling off the land just to make some money.
This is a campaign that has at its heart the integrity and spirit of a massively powerful group of people, which will undoubtedly win the day. More power to all of our elbows. Thank you.
While Warren never lived to see a free Farstadine, though he fought and gave his life for that cause. Why the government has run out of cash by selling our land, they want to get it back. Not for sale shall always be our call. Well, times may change, but they somehow stay the same. So we'll rise up and fight once again. Yeah, we shall stand our ground, and of his legacy be proud. Long live the spirit of Warren James. Well, Harper, he's our man. He could speak out against this plan, but the boy dreams of the front bench when he sleeps. While he should be more concerned, and I believe he's gonna learn to be wary of those who vote for this seat. Well, times may change, but they somehow stay the same. So we'll rise up and fight once again. Yeah, we will stand our ground, and of his legacy be proud. Long live the spirit of Warren James. So here in our forest home, we'll fight for what we own, just as we have fought all who came before. Well, no fence will keep us out, of that I have no doubt. For the forest of Dean belongs to us all. While Warren may be gone, but his legacy lingers on, and we'll fight just as hard as he did in his day. So lift your voices and be heard, and let London fear these words. Long live the spirit of Warren James. Hey, times may change, but they somehow stay the same. So we'll rise up and fight once again. Yeah, we shall stand our ground, and of his legacy be proud. Long live the spirit of Warren James. Yeah, long live the spirit of Warren James. Yeah, long live the spirit of Warren James.
Can you find a bigger venue? Only a boxy little room? What's going on? He doesn't want to hear us, does he? Does he think we're stupid? Yes. Get Harper down here! Get Harper down here! Get Harper down here!
Get Harper down here now!
Just expressed a fear about a charitable trust, okay? I think it was expressed earlier in the evening. People don't believe it, because I've already heard of 5 names put forward for that charitable trust. One's an asset stripper, one's an open cast person, and the other one's a builder. So if that's the sort of people we're going to have in a charitable trust, forget it. And number 3, why don't you do the honourable thing for your party and for yourself? 400,000 people and rising have voted against this on the 38 Degrees website. 10,000 people have signed a petition in the Forest of Dean. 3,000 people came out in a snowstorm, freezing cold, to tell you how we feel about it. Thousands and thousands of people are looking at the Hoof website. Just call a halt to it now and say, we've made a mistake, let's call a halt to it, let's do away with the public bodies, the forestry sections of the Public Forest Bill, and let's get on with our business, because
I am sorry. We got this one wrong, but we have listened to people's concerns. I would like to thank colleagues for their support through what has been a very difficult issue. I now want to move forward in step with the public. I hope that the measures that I've announced today, signalling a fresh approach, demonstrate my intention to do the right thing for our forests and our woodlands.
We're good. But lately there's news that our forest will be sold out from under our knees. And now it is pleased and right angry, and we can't see the wood for the trees. Wood for the trees, wood for the trees. We can't see the wood for the trees. Wood for the trees, wood for the trees. We can't see the wood for the trees. Now we have a poliotician. I'm told he's a very nice chap. He says that he stands for the forest, but we know that's a load of old crap. He tells us that we should be mellow and buy this land for a small fee. But we know he's in hock and he's yellow, and he can't see the word for the trees. Wood for the trees, wood for the trees. You can't see the word for the trees. Wood for the trees, wood for the trees. You can't see the word for the trees. 'Twas big business and banks that got us here, and the government's there for the blame. Red, yellow, or blue makes no difference. You're useless, you're all just the same. And meanwhile the bankers are cosy and continue to do as they please. They've shattered this land with their greed and their plans, and we can't see the word for the trees. Word for the trees, word for the trees. We can't see the word for the trees. Word for the trees, word for the trees. We can't see the word for the trees. But things are afoot in our forest, and the ghosts of our forefathers rise. The forester's way is to fight, not to pray. I will pull the wool from your blind eye. We'll fight every inch for our forest. With our spirit and guts we'll achieve the right to roam free twixt the Severn and Wye, and you won't see the word for the trees. Word for the trees, word for the trees. You won't see the word for the trees. Word for the trees, word for the trees. You won't see the word for the trees. Word for the trees, word for the trees. You won't see the word for the trees. Word for the trees, word for the trees. You won't see the word for the trees.
The homeless counties, the traffic raging, raging all around me. I closed my eyes and dreamed how it could be. This land was made for you and me. So I am going, no one can stop me. Where wildflowers growing, clean rivers flowing, where roads are flowing, and the trees are whispering. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From the coast of Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, from the sacred forest to the streets of Brixton. This land was made for you and me.
So we've been trying to alert people to this since June, and thankfully now people are just starting to wake up and see what this bill could potentially do. That will mean that sometime in the future this government tell us that they have no intention of disposing of the forests. They've given us a written statement, but that's all it is. It's just a written statement from a government which has 6 months of its term left. What we're interested in is forests in the lifetime of trees, not in the lifetime of governments. Is today, in the Lords, the amendments which we're backing, which have been tabled by Baroness Royal from Blaisdon, are going to come before the Lords this afternoon. So we're waiting frantically for any news, but they're going to sit until 10 o'clock tonight, so we might have a long wait. But they're actually being debated as we march around Mallards Pike. Now what we've asked is for the complete exemption of all the public forest land from the infrastructure bill. And that's the only thing that we'll be satisfied with. We've had 4 years of promises, 4 years of written statements. We want to see the public forest exempted in the legislation.
Blow, soft and low, what do you take us for? We've been here 1,000 years, we'll be here 1,000 more. Women and men gather then, I've got some things to say. People are coming with big ideas to sell our land away. I will fight with all my might, but I cannot stand alone. Money's not worth anything compared to a home. And I won't lose the land beneath my feet, and I will never admit defeat. I will walk wherever I please amongst the hills and the tracks and the trees. I won't lose the land beneath my feet. I will never admit defeat. I will walk wherever I please amongst the hills and the tracks and the trees. So blow, wind blow, soft and low. Why do you take us for? We've been here 1,000 years. We'll be here 1,000 more. Blow, wind blow, soft and low. What do you take us for? We've been here 1,000 years. We'll be here 1,000 more.
Hands off our forest mural, Ruadine Post Office, Forest of Dean. Stoats have what's known as lockjaws. Once locked on, even after death the stoat's jaws won't release. The only way to save our forests is to develop this trait and bite the hands of greed who would plunder the public natural assets.
Give the bankers bigger hankies, do not mock those on the dole. Pay your taxes, send less faxes, or bugger off and live abroad. Tear your fences, tear the fences, tear the fences down again. We must always tear the fences from the land. All together! Tear the fences, tear the fences, tear the fences down again. We must always tear the fences from the land.
Picture the scene, the canopy of green, over a sea of white, snowdrops dancing in the night. A place where families would go spend countless days and nights, and get away from the stress and strain of life. Take your lives away, hey, hey, from our heritage, hey, hey. Right in your pockets with the golden leaves of our forestry, hey, hey. Thousands of years, men fought for their rights between the trees. From Robin Hood of Nottingham, where I'm from, to the folks of the Forest of Dean, who given speech housed by the king, so they could express their views. And if if you've taken the time, well, to ask me for mine, I had to say to you, hey, hey, go and take your laws away, hey, hey, from our heritage, hey, hey, lying in your pockets with the golden leaves of our poetry, hey, hey. That's right, this is a bit. Let's have some stuff there, guys. Here we go. Take your laws away, hey, hey, from our heritage, hey, hey, lying in your pockets with the golden leaves of our poetry, hey, hey, ooh, hey, hey, you're gonna take away our trees, nay, nay, no one bought over my grave, hey, hey, lying in your pockets with the golden leaves of our poetry, hey, hey, lying in your with the golden leaves of our forestry, hey, hey.